Sure did.
Echo.
Yeah, I know, just yeah.
Okay guys, so I'm sitting here at my folks' house and I'm editing this video. I didn't get a chance to get everybody. I knew this going in. The only one that I tried to get everybody is with the Wild Thing. But anyways, so Doug, Indiana Doug and Dave Smith will have recorded the whole event. So if I missed you, I'm sorry, but it wasn't out of resentment. It was just, I was there to have fun, not capture this whole event. So anyways, but I'm dying to know how fast my 3750, my Binford Bad Boy that Joe ported is. And I was able to just measure it against Charlie's 620. All right, he's got a ported 620, and we all know that Charlie can port really well, right? Even though that's not his fastest one and all that stuff, whatever. It just gives me something to measure against. And so I did it on my computer. I had a little stumble on my run, but Charlie had a nice clean run. But what I did was I timed it from whenever I first had my clean start into the wood, and same with Charlie. So this is clean through the wood for me, clean through the wood for Charlie. And Charlie's time was 9:23, and my time was 10:01. So 9:23 to 10:01. He had me by about 3/4 of a second. So that is a good metric to measure. This saw should outrun my Direwolf, and if it does, then that's fantastic. But anyways, more testing on that. I just had to throw that in there. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, y'all. I am back home in Kentucky. This is home, y'all. Sawfest was a blast. Well, I mean, you know, it's like watching racing all your life, like motocross. That was my thing. NASCAR, something like that, and then all of a sudden, you get an opportunity to compete. So it was wonderful. I will be doing an event similar to this, but I need to make more friends in the greater Atlanta area that like chainsaws. As it is, I've only got a couple of you, and to put on an event like they did, you have to have a really tight group of friends to help set it up, to run the event, or it just takes a lot of money. I do not have a lot of money, and so therefore I would need to make a nice strong group, which I absolutely do not have. I got Barry. Barry, you're a buddy. I know you would help out, but you're also an hour and a half from me, you know? So how are you going to come to my property all the time like those guys do? Those guys are like 10 minutes away from each other. Hell, Grant and Eric live side by side, and they're both passionate about chainsaws. So they got a really awesome setup, and I hope those guys know. Just, you know, I don't use words like this much because they're kind of cliche and corny, but just truly blessed to have a group of friends like that. It's really cool. But so the results are, I came in 6th place overall. I can't believe I came in 6th. I haven't seen the highest I ranked on any of my saws, but I think it was the Shindaiwa in 9th place. And having ran it, I made a mistake. I let off the trigger between the downcut and the upcut, and that cost me some time. I don't know if I would have been able to beat. That was Brennan Cass that I was going against. He had a 462 that just had mild work done to it. But I don't know if I would have been able to beat him, but it definitely would have been closer than it was. He had a nice clean run, and mine, I had a nice clean run too on that Shindaiwa. It just, I stumbled. I let off the trigger. You know, you're not supposed to do that. But anyways, I should have, that was big wood, and I should not have been running the 8-pin sprocket. I don't think. I think I should have left the 7-pin sprocket on there. Because it was, you know, it was bogging it a little bit. But there is more to be had with that chainsaw, and I will get in there and have it. Hopefully at some point. But I placed first in the Wild Thing category, and I placed first in the barrel split category, so that really helped me out. And then I didn't get footage of the 592 run, but it was fast. I was faster than most all of those ported saws. The 660 or the 94cc and up class, I cut out, and so I had a disqualified, a DQ. If I had, oh motherfucker, look what somebody. Freaking crap. I'll get that off later. That will not stay. I'm sure that was Eric Salyer or somebody. I don't know. It could have been anybody. But that was a good one, guys. You comment. I hadn't seen it until just that moment. That was good. Oh, what was I saying? So my 592 was fast, and I was getting a really good time, but I cut out. And I don't have footage. If I have footage, I would be able to show you how fast it was. So if anybody out there has footage of me running my 592, send it to me. Drop it to me in Messenger, because I really want to be able to see that, what it would have been had I not screwed up. Because I bet you there wouldn't have been but 4 people beat me in that class. That thing's hot. Anyways, they've come a long way. With that 592, between that and the 395, in my opinion, it's a landslide of difference. I've ran 395s, and they're good saws. They're good saws. They're good saws, but they're really on a similar level to a 660. That 592 is above that level. And you've got to get a well ported 660, a very well ported 660 or 395 to step up to that 592. That's been my experience, at least. You guys may have different experiences, but what else can I tell you? So yeah, it just straight up a killer time. But I had so I had the little hiccup with the 592, and I got disqualified. That's the only disqualification I got. I competed in all the events. That really helped me out a lot. I also don't have footage of me running the clone, the 660 clone. Mine was completely stock, and I was running an out-of-the-box steel RS chain that had probably 50 cuts on it by now. Probably 50 or 60, because we were running it there at Sawfest too, and I run it. I just got more than that, because I cut out a whole bunch of stuff, a bunch of red oak with it. So the 660 clone, I just put the 24-inch bar, 25-inch bar from my Steel 400C on it. I just was like, I just grabbed that and put it on the 660, and I didn't even sharpen it. I was planning on doing it like on the tailgate of the truck while I was up there, because I had ran out of time, but I didn't even get a chance to sharpen it. My point is it did not have a C83 chain on it, and it also had a chain which could have stood to be touched up. It wasn't dull, but yeah, it was not fresh and nice. So, that being said, I think it ran at 26 seconds, and nearly every one of the other ported saws, they're coming in there with their fresh chains and everything. 22, 24. If I had ran a C83, a fresh C83 on that saw, and that's to my point, that pro level Farm Mac, I ain't kidding you. That thing's hot. And I haven't done anything different to that at all. I had planned on getting I purchased it, an OEM carburetor. I purchased it. And I was going to put that on there because I just knew my experience with the Farm Mac 372 told me that you've got to upgrade those carburetors to OEM, right? Not with that 660 clone. That thing runs stellar. And I bet you out of 20 different 660s that I ran, clones and OEM, up there at Sawfest, I don't know if it was 20 or not, but it was a lot. But let's say I ran 20. I bet you that Farm Mac stock out of the box was 5th place. Yeah. So That's no joke. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. Especially because I had such a bum deal. Oh, and I got to tell you guys about. I'll do a video on it next time I do the 372 video. But I heard some shit that, you know, somebody was saying that I was, you know, I didn't give Doug credit for getting me that saw. Okay, if you're in this, you know us all probably. If you're in this deep on this video, Indiana Doug got me that saw. He has a contact with the company or something like that. But that saw was such a piece of shit. I didn't want to attach Doug's name to it. It wasn't because I was like not giving him a shout out. I mean, as a whole, maybe I should have. I don't know. I ain't a PR guy. I don't know what I should be saying and shit like that. So if I make a mistake, you know, I'm under public scrutiny. I mean, God bless it. I ain't like the big guy. I'm a little guy right now, but I'm still under public scrutiny, and I feel it, you know. And it's just like, dude, man, don't make claims that I did anything on purpose just because it doesn't sit well with like what you thought I should have done. You know, Doug's a cool guy, and I looked forward to hanging out with him more and stuff, but he's always doing his thing and I'm doing my thing. We both got channels and we're both trying to get them bigger and do cool things, you know? So, but anyways, yeah, the whole, that 372 was a piece of shit saw. And I didn't know what I was supposed to say. Was I supposed to say, yeah, Indiana Doug gave me this? Because he didn't. He got the company to give it to me. And that was great, but it was a weird setup. And I didn't know how to respond to that. And then whenever it turned out to be total junk, well, I sure as hell wasn't going to be like, Doug sent me a junk saw. No. You know? So it's one of those things, you can't please everybody. Whatever. Me and Doug are cool. Don't think that we ain't. We don't get to hang out every time. We've been to 2 different events together and we've met each other and stuff, and we don't get to hang out though because he's got his thing that he's doing and I got my thing that I'm doing. And so maybe in the future we can actually collaborate on something really cool. Maybe. I don't know, because he's good, you know. He's good, and he's way better at the PR stuff than I am. I'll drop F-bombs and all that stuff. I don't, you know, I could probably have a lot more subscribers if I was a little bit more polished, but I'm not. So anyways, that's long enough for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Sawfest was great. If you're in the Atlanta area and you actually would be able to help out with setting up an event, that would be awesome, you know, because I want to do that. It's really cool. I mean, and everybody should get a chance to do it. Come out to the next one next year. Next year will be even bigger. All right, later.